The views expressed are not necessarily those of KSCJ and Powell Broadcasting Company. This program is not intended to replace the advice of doctors or other clinical providers. Consult with your practitioner to ensure the proper course of action for you.
Welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well on AM 1360, FM 94.9 KSCJ. This program is dedicated to your mental health wellness and brought to you by Family Services, a United Way partner agency. Here's your host, Art Silva.
Good morning, Siouxland, and welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well. This show is all about your mental wellness, environment, and how you can help yourself navigate the daily highway of life. It's the little things or sometimes larger issues that can take us off-road. Our goal is to inform and provide information that will help direct individuals to community resources that can cope with life's daily mental health challenges. I'm Art Silva, and our show is brought to you by Boys and Girls Home and Family Service, serving the Siouxland community since 1894. Today, we have a special show for you. We're going to discuss the new Ginny Peterson Behavioral Health Campus located at the former Indian Hills Shopping Plaza. This is a new home for the children at Boys and Girls Home. Joining me is Terry Dooley, the Executive Vice President of Development for Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, and our friend to all children, Jim Wharton. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, Art. Terry, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I'm glad to have you. Jim, we go a long way back, man.
Long way. Art, we moved here in 76. When did you move?
I moved in 86, so 39 years. And we did a little fundraising back in the day. Mr. Joe Gantz, and God rest his soul.
We're two of the guys in Sioux City that can go 24-hour and nonstop baseball.
Amen.
Yeah, and there are a lot of us out there, but good to see you guys. I love the Boys and Girls Home Family Service.
Well, let's get a little background. Terry, let's talk about what you do at Boys and Girls Home.
I am the fundraiser. I have responsibility for both inside the agency, figuring out what needs to be given to help us do a better job with our kids, and I also have the blessing of working with people like Jim Wharton and others who are out in the community and generously helping us to be able to move forward and do a better job on our service side. So, Jim, I followed you.
Well,
you left me a nice piece.
The thing about it is, I've had a lot of jobs, Terry, and a lot of people have followed me. So, congratulations! But you're in a big group there, Terry. But thank you anyway. Yeah, I worked at the Boys and Girls Home Family Services back in the late '80s, early '90s, and I can tell you, people like Don Stone. Okay, everybody loved Don Stone.
Sure
yeah.
did.
I had the real privilege of working with Don for a couple of years, and we shared office there, and I just loved him. And the work Boys and Girls Home Family Services did and still does, to me, is just such a compelling story. I was at Mercy at one time, too, and I always tell people I was doing fund development at Mercy and raising money there, and when I needed to get kind of grounded again, I'd go into the ICU waiting room and not eavesdrop. No, I didn't want to eavesdrop, but I listened to families talking about the things they were dealing with and the situations that they were facing. Same thing I did at the Boys and Girls Home, although, it had to be a little more discreet because of all the privacy things, but get to be around some of these kids and hear their stories. Oh, boy. That's really all you needed to come to a conclusion very quickly. This is such a deserving need, such a critical need that we need to help out with. So, and I always look back to my time Boys and Girls Home Family Services with such affection because it was good. And also I was on the city council at the time.
That's right.
And what kind of complicated it, I wanted to be the mayor, and we had just started the Boys and Girls Home campaign. And I told my colleagues on the council, I says, I don't think I can serve two masters here. There's so much that needs to be done at the facility at the Boys and Girls Home. I don't know that I can do them both. So that's when I struck a deal with the council. I says, I'll be mayor for 1 year, but this first year I got to do my stuff for the Boys and Girls Home. And we had a good campaign. And that's what we need to do now, too. So.
That's right.
When you were mayor, Jim, I remember we had great air service in this town.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. It was so easy to get from A to B.
It was. Yeah, those were good days, Art. But, I had 4 years. That's all I wanted. And I think a lot of politicians should probably look at that term limits.
Yeah.
Not political, believe me. I knew what I wanted to do. I did it, and I left.
Well,
the Boys and Girls Home was a great, it was all during that time when I was mayor, when I was working at the Boys and Girls Home. And I tell you, it also opened up some doors to me. Because people, I made a lot of calls, and that's good. We had a really great operation, and I know you still do. And this whole Boys and Girls Home and Family Services entity is such a critical need right now in this community.
You're a perfect example of people in the community continuing to share whatever they have so that we can help the kids.
Well, thank you. I've always said Sioux City is kind of like nonprofit rich.
Yeah, that's
We are.
right.
A good thing and a bad thing.
That's true.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's tough, and you kind of got to cut through it a little bit, and you guys have done that very well.
Well, you talked about when you had to get centered in the ICU, you go look at Boys and Girls Home, you listen to the families. When I need to get centered, I'll go have lunch with the kids. You just can't say no. All of these children are a victim, and we have the misnomer of people thinking it's a conduct disorder that we deal with, and it's not. Our kids come in traumatized, they're victims, they've had some type of problem, whether it be the victims of witnessing domestic abuse, whether it be, it could be a number of things. But we have 30 souls with us right now, 15 boys and 15 girls. The boys are really depressed, suffering from depression, and the girls are suffering from anxiety. So we're going to talk about what we're going to try to do to help fix that problem. Moving on, I'm Art Silva, and you're listening to When Things Aren't Going Well with my guests Jim Wharton and Terry Dooley. So let me ask you guys this. Terry, could you give us a fundraising update?
Oh boy, it's really exciting. We've taken this move and we've kind of divided it into little segments. So the first segment, we raised $4 million, which enabled us to be able to move our family services, the outpatient therapeutic side of the agency, to the old Indian Hills Shopping Center. And that was, what a blessing to get us to have a nice private place for our clients to be able to come in and get some help. And we're currently in a $6 million campaign. We've raised about $3 million to be able to complete the rest of the campus. I'm happy to say that we've got a lot of the work done already, and we've had some fabulous support from people in the community to help us do that. The kids' rooms, we have 42 rooms that are actually finalized at this point. They don't have furniture yet, so we're still going to be moving forward with that. But the campaign is ongoing, and we've got tremendous support in this community.
Well, since you mentioned it, let me give a quick project update and where we are. We finished the residential treatment facility. We did that with our fundraising and the grant from the Iowa Economic Division of $2.7 million. Our fundraising is in place. We still have to complete the school portion, and you just can't do half a building and not do the other half. You have to finish all the HVAC work at the same time. So we're ready to move our kids in, but we still have a little more work to do, and we're looking at maybe Q2, late Q2, that we can get the children over there. And we need to go. We'll talk about the Court Street facility in a moment, but it's time to move these children into an area where they can thrive, into a neighborhood where we have good relations with our neighbors, and they understand what we're doing with our children. And I think, like they say, it takes a village to get this done. That's what we're counting on with our community help. Let's talk about why support the project. Jim, why should people support this?
Well, I was kind of late to the game on this, and I apologize for that. But I've told others because I'm retired. Nobody calls you anymore.
It's called relevancy.
Yeah, nobody calls you. I mean, nobody even uses a Rolodex anymore. But if they did, I wouldn't be in it. Okay, your life kind of changes on that. But I had an opportunity, Bev and I, to go to a dinner. I think it was for not Jackson. Was it
Heartland Counseling.
Heartland Counseling.
Yes.
Heartland Counseling. And Art was being honored.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've known Art for so long. Such a good friend. And Bev and I had the honor of sitting with Art at his table that night. And Art got up and started talking about the work he's doing. And I'm just listening very intently, and it just kind of lit the fire again. Art, like I said, there's so many competing entities out there that need help and very, very deserving. But when I heard Art talk about what's going on, and Bev and I talking afterwards, I says, we got to do something. I mean, we've got to do something. And it's interesting when you sit back and look at stuff like that. I'm thinking a lot, not only about kids, not only about the people that you serve, but I'm thinking about Art. Yeah. And the reason I'm thinking about Art is Art could be retired. Art could be retired.
He was retired.
I know, and like I say, he's such a good friend, and he doesn't need to be doing this, but he is so bought in to what's happening at the Boys and Girls Home and Family Services that, to me, that is really a compelling argument. I mean, honestly, Art, I'm not trying to blow smoke at you, but a lot of it's got to do with your leadership. And the leadership at this organization is incredible. And so, when Bev and I talked about helping this campaign, I mean, it was 90% kids, 10% this guy. And I'm being honest about that. And so that's why we supported and we got in. And to me, it's one of the best investments. It's better than a CD, I can tell you that. The returns are much greater. So,
Jim, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. For people who I classified as we care, they get it. And you and Bev certainly got that. You stepped up. We really appreciate that. And that's what it's going to take to get this project done. These kids get back on their feet. They go out, they hold jobs, they pay taxes, and they move forward. All they need is this support at this critical time in their life that they're going through an awful lot of trauma. We're coming up on our break right now, so we're going to take a little pause for the cause and let you continue your morning chill. We'll be right back with Jim Wharton and Terry Dooley as we talk about the Jeannie Peterson Behavioral Health Campus, the new home for Boys and Girls Home.
Oh, I forgot to take the garbage out again. My teen came home who knows when last night. That guy just cut me off. My boss totally doesn't get what I'm trying to do for his company. When will I enjoy life again? Will I ever catch up? I really should visit my parents soon before it's too late. Why is this guy in front of me stopping at a green light? Go!
It's time for a checkup from the neck up to put yourself in a better state of mind. Sometimes it all seems to be coming at us pretty fast. Our instinct is to conquer our issues before we enjoy our actual life. It seems we just can't get caught up. That's when stress and anxiety absorb everything. Family Services, Inc. is here to get you back to enjoying your life. A call to Family Services will put you on a direct path to more happiness and inner peace. It's time you appreciate the things that matter most. Let the sun heat your back and enjoy the day and laugh with guiltless, stress-free joy. Call Family Services today at 293-4900. That's 293-4900.
I feel good.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well on KSCJ. Here's Art Silva.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well. I'm Art Silva along with Terry Dooley and Jim Wharton, and we're discussing the new Jeannie Peterson Behavioral Health Campus. Let me talk about Court Street and why we have to move. We've been in the old St. Joe's Hospital building since about 2000. Now, recently, you saw in the paper that the city is looking at a grant and about $19 million to take the place down. Not the hospital building, but all the surrounding outbuildings and put in some green space. There's a developer that would like to put in apartments for affordable housing. So it's a great plan. So what I think about this is we got a 2-neighborhood project. We're working on Indian Hills, where the shopping plaza has been pretty much vacant for about 15 years, and Court Street. So we're not just leaving one area and leaving it to sit. The city's working with us to rehab that neighborhood. We've had problems there. The neighborhood is changing. And for our kids and the age of the building, we got things like elevators. We got things like a whole bunch of things that affect our kids when they go out in the playground. So we need to move, and working with the city. Jim, back in the day, do you remember that neighborhood and anything that the council was looking at then?
Well, I tell you, not so much. Just to be candid with you, there were other things going on at the time. We were dealing with big issues like John Morrell, who was threatening to leave and take out 2,000 jobs. We were looking more. And I don't apologize for it, but in hindsight, maybe we were a little delinquent there too. We were looking at so many quality of life things because we'd fallen so far behind. Cities comparable to us, and so we did the riverfront, and I was at Gateway afterwards too, and I was able to help. I wish Gateway were still here, or Art, we'd take the project.
Oh, no
today.
Oh, yeah.
Those are we missed those kind of corporate entities that we used to have in Sioux City. But when we were on the city council, frankly, we weren't paying a whole lot of attention to that, and then, as I said, we were probably delinquent in doing that. But I've been on down that Court Street corridor all of the time, and you're absolutely right that it's a changing environment around there, And what you propose to do, what the city could be your partner in, would really be a very transitional move for that whole area.
Well, we feel with the city's help with the grants to take the building down, we will donate the 14-plus acres of land to a developer, and that should help them get going. So we all have to work together and look for win-win situations. This also has a tremendous economic impact. When we move over to the Singing Hills location, the Indian Hills location, too many hills location, we're going to be adding between 15 and 20 jobs. And these are for younger people. We're working with paid internships with Morningside College. We're looking to go to Briarcliff University, Morningside University, excuse me. I still call the Marina, so old school. But, looking at getting up to South Dakota, we can bring these kids in that maybe want to get into this field through a paid internship. They get the credit and they get money, and see if we can start growing this. This is a tremendous need because suicide rates, suicide ideation in 11th grade, 1 out of 4 has thought about it. So it's our job to block for these kids, open a door, and let them thrive.
Yeah, we have such a mental health desert here. In Northwest Iowa, in fact, the whole state of Iowa,
right?
We have such a void, and to be able to offer that type of services to these young folks, is indispensable.
Well, and I think, too, I've been at the agency for a long time, and it's like you say, Jim, once you take a look in the eyes of the kids that we're taking care of, it's difficult to leave. But through the years that I have been at the agency, we have been kind of not able to design our own space. And this is the first time with this capital campaign that we've been able to design our own space. And it is unbelievable what the kids are going to be living in. It's what they deserve. So
their rooms are upgraded. We don't want it to look like a shopping plaza. So this spring, you'll see us add some berms in there. We'll be taking out a ton of asphalt, replacing it with grass. We'll be commissioning our geothermal system. We put that in, energy saving, and going forward. And like Terry said, we get a chance to design what we need. The kids will have activity rooms for each unit, and they'll have quiet rooms for each unit. So, as kids, even in these winter months when it gets tough and inside a lot, they can burn off some energy. They can have some fun. It's not all work. They're in counseling classes all day. They go to school in the morning, then they go to their group sessions. But, they're kids. And, I think the kids' language is play, and that's what you watch for is play. So this is not only going to be good for Sioux City, we're making something that's going to be great for Iowa. And we have a great operation. We're well respected, and we're the only residential treatment area. They closed down Cherokee for children, so we're looking at Council Bluffs as the next closest place when you have to send a child for help. We deal with children 6 to 18, so we're looking forward to this, and I'm just excited to think about the legacy we're going to leave behind for this community for kids we don't even know.
You're doing it right. You're doing it right. As Terry said, everything you've been in before, you've had to make conform.
That's right.
Now, what you're going to do is conform to the kids.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Which is really, I say kids, but they're kids to me.
They're kids. They are kids.
So that what a great future. What an impetus that is to deliver the services that you're supposed to do. So
we've had you really get empathy for these kids. We've had a couple of kids that have been trafficked that are coming through that were able to get back on their feet, and their families. The families are so important, and in cases where we don't have that family support, it's a little more strain on our clinicians and what we do, but we welcome the challenge, and we do a good job at it. I've been blessed with a wonderful staff, 3 great women that all have over 25 years of service, 30 years of service with the agency. So you can see the common denominator here is the heart. Right. You got to have the heart for this.
25, that's 6 jobs for me. Yeah. I respect you so much, Terry.
Oh, thank you,
Unbelievable.
So we're tuned into this, and I'm a firm believer that, I retired and when I sold my dealerships, and I wasn't doing it, raising money for healing at the time, and my wife had some illnesses, and we got caught in that flood in 11. But all that stuff is secondary to, I think, where God put you. He puts you where you need to be, and I am a firm believer of that. And along with that comes the angels who help you along the way because they know it's a good idea. So we're looking for some angels out there that could help us with our project.
Yeah, I would hope anybody that is listening this morning, you take it from someone like me who finds opportunities to get engaged in good things and being kind and charitable and all of that.
Amen.
Sort of
Thank
thing
you,
that
thank
goes-
you.
Amen.
But the Boys and Girls Home, been here a long time. What would you say?
1894. It started as an orphanage for the
Yeah.
kids that, the orphan trains that were going west. And they dropped the kids off in Sioux City, and the parents would take off west. And two women started this in 1894 to take care of kids.
Yeah, I remember that story now. And I tell you, there's not many that have a story as compelling as what you folks have. And I would just say, there's so many deserving projects around here, but this one kind of rises to the top for me. First of all, you've been at it a long time. And it's not been easy. I know some of the stuff you've dealt with. It's not been easy. But if you have any opportunity whatsoever to give this project some support, I mean, every little bit counts, and it's additive to where you're trying to get. And I just, Bev would say the same thing here. There's so many worthwhile places you can go, but the Boys and Girls Home, clearly to me anyway, is one of those organizations now that you're kind of at a crossroads here. I mean, you've taken huge risks, do what you're trying to do here, and it makes so much sense from so many perspectives, from the community, which is your partner, from donors who will become your partners, and from those folks, those kids that you serve. You turn them into better human beings, kids that haven't had a chance. And you're at that point in their lives where you can change their behaviors, change their attitudes. And the best thing that could happen is one of those young men or women come back 20 years now and say, "Can I help? Can I help you?"
They do it, Jim.
I mean, yeah,
they do it.
See that to me, you're doing your job.
Yeah.
When you get that type of thing, kind of like at a college, when a successful alum comes back and says, somebody helped me with a scholarship. Now I want to pay it forward. I want to help somebody else. Same thing you got going on at the Boys and Girls Home. So to me, I would just hope, whatever integrity and I have left, influence. Oh man, this is one you really need to take a look at. And I would hope you do that.
Thank you, Jim. And they can get us. Terry's going to give them some information on how they can get a hold of us and donate. But with you and I, Jim, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't talk baseball. So I got to go back and tell you that Babe Ruth visited the Boys and Girls Home.
That's right.
And then he was so impressed with it back in, I want to say 2027 or one around there, that he invited his friend Lou Gehrig to come the following year.
Yep.
So both Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig have been at Boys and Girls Home because they were compelled to do something with what they saw with these kids. Of course, the Babe came out of an orphanage. So, I mean, this is unbelievable when you get the synergy of people working together, not for themselves, but for somebody else. Planting a seed for the future. And this is the investment. And I used that word earlier. It's an investment that we're using with our kids. Terry, talk about recapturing some of our former clients.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the biggest rewards that I have in my position, because I get calls from people who either lived in the orphanage. I mean, we have some people that still are calling. They live out in California, and they call and they say, you changed my life. One of the common statements is, I would be dead if it weren't for you and what you taught me at Boys and Girls Home and Family Services. So, and these are people that are successful right here in our community, holding jobs and moving on with their lives. And they tell us, there are times when we don't have success. If we don't get a child, we know of kids that were on our waiting list that ended up killing themselves. That's what we're trying to get around right now. We want to make sure that people understand that we have the care, the mental health services. We're the best, in my opinion. And the more that we can help to move this project forward, the better for all the kids and families we're serving.
How can they get a hold of us if they want to donate, Terry?
If they want to call the agency, they can just go ahead and call 293-4900 and ask for me, or they can go to boysandgirlshomeiowa.org and get hooked up on our website. So I am happy to have anybody call me any time of day. Honestly, I will help with the story. I'll help you be able to help us. We know that kids are in jeopardy right now. Let's not let another one be gone because we didn't do something.
Boy, this time has flown by, and we're coming up on the end of our show, and every week we end our show with a joke. Humor is good for the soul. So here we go. My bank account was hacked. The hacker was so disappointed, he started a fundraiser for me. Listen, Jim, thanks a lot. Terry, thanks.
Thank
We
you,
could talk
Jim.
forever on this thing. Jim, I'll see you at the ballpark. And I want to give a shout out to the Stuff Thrift Teak. And when things aren't going, we'll be back next Saturday morning right here at 1360 AM, 94.9 FM, KSCJ. Your homework for the week is to go out and have a good laugh. May the sun shine on you.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
For more information on the services provided by Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, see them online at boysandgirlshomeiowa.org. Or you can call 712-293-4700 to get more information about family services, residential treatment, the Opportunity School, the Siouxland Family Center, and more. At Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, we change lives.